from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're ready for the 2024-25 NBA regular season because it's opening week with opening day set for tomorrow. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. Michael Eaves is, among other things, a studio host for ESPN. He joins me on Mondays in the second segment, so he's going to be here in about 20 minutes. I'll talk to Michael Eaves about a number of things, including that controversial ending to the WNBA Finals. Michael Eaves will be here in the next segment. When I finish talking to him, going to take a break, turn our attention to Memphis Football. The Tigers, Ryan Silverfield's program, got a nice win on Saturday, beat North Texas 52-44 inside the Liberty Hole. So Memphis is now 6-1 with the lone loss coming at Navy, which, by the way, is undefeated still and now ranked 24th in the AP poll. Next up, Saturday's game against Charlotte. But is anybody paying attention? I'll ask Bennett that question. We'll do it in the third segment. When we finish talking about Memphis football, we'll take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, the Los Angeles Dodgers have eliminated the New York Mets from the NLCS. They did it last night in Game 6. Shohei Ohtani was great again. We'll put a bow on the Mets season. We'll do that in about 60 minutes. The Dodgers' opponent in the World Series is going to be the New York Yankees. Juan Soto ensured that with an extra inning homer late Saturday. We'll show that to you a little later on in the show. The Titans dropped to 1-5 with a 34-10 loss in Buffalo this weekend. Mason Rudolph took the L while Will Levis remains injured. I'll ask Bennett to vent about that. We'll do it a little later on in the show. Arguably the biggest sporting event in the history of this city. It happened 22 years ago. Lennox Lewis against Mike Tyson inside the Pyramid. Would you believe a rematch might be on tap? That's what I heard.
We're not so sure about that.
I'll give you the details, Bennett. We'll do that in just a bit. And rest in peace, Ellie Young. Horrific scene, Shelby Farms this weekend. A 22-year-old first-year medical student was murdered in broad daylight in front of witnesses, allegedly by her ex-boyfriend, a 26-year-old man who has been charged with first-degree murder. Just an awful situation. I'll get you updated on it during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know, and then we'll eventually do GP's Carry Out, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with the NBA because it's here. We have finally reached opening week of the 2024-25 NBA season. Preseason is over. No more games are on the schedule. The next time you see NBA players in uniform on a court, it's going to be tomorrow night, doubleheader to open the season. Knicks Celtics, that's 6:30. Then Timberwolves Lakers at 9.
Pretty good.
Both games going to be on TNT. And then on Wednesday night, the Grizzlies will open their regular season in Salt Lake City against Lauri Markkanen and the Utah Jazz. Big Bet Bennett, are you ready for some professional basketball? Because the regular season, it starts this week, and by this week, I mean tomorrow.
I'm very excited. On our last preseason game on Friday, it's fun when it gets here and you're like, okay, we're back. Let's go. And then when you get to that second, third preseason game, you're like, all right, I'm done with this.
Can't watch this
let's
anymore.
get out of here. And I feel like everybody that was in that building on Friday was kind of feeling the same way. It was cool to see Ja get back on the court. He looked good in his limited time. So that was a really positive development heading into the season. Yeah, man, I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
As expected, as you mentioned, Ja Morant did play in Friday's final exhibition. It was against the Miami Heat. He took 12 shots, made 7 of them, finished with 17 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 0 injuries. Let's go. In 25 minutes. That's a good night. Did the Grizz win the game? No.
I don't care.
Lost 114-109, I believe, to finish the preseason 3-2. But nobody cares about that because all that matters is that Ja played, looked good, didn't tweak anything. That was a wonderful Friday night. And then on Saturday, we got some fun news. specifically that the Grizzlies have signed Japanese sensation Yuki Kawamura to a two-way deal that will allow him to bounce between the Grizzlies in Memphis and the Hustle in South Haven. Yuki is now officially, because of this contract, the shortest player in the NBA. And at 5'8", he is now just the 9th player, 5'8" or shorter, to sign an NBA contract since the ABA-NBA merger in 1976. As a fellow short man, I can appreciate this. I don't know if you know, Bennett, because you're not quite down here with me and Yuki. You ain't hanging out down here.
No, I'm normal.
You're normal.
Yeah.
You're a normal male.
Although I've been told that I lean on the short side, like by some people in this office, and I resent the hell out of that.
Well,
I'm just normal height.
put a number on it.
5'9". That's just normal. That's not short. What, the threshold's 6 feet? That's why we're judging?
I think 5'10" is normal. Let's figure
What's
it
the
out.
normal height
I
for
think
a man?
I think if you're a 5'10", you can say I'm normal. What is the but 5'9", you're short like me, bro.
I'm not short.
For a man. Average height for men in the U.S. is 5'7".
Yeah, see? Come on, dude. 5'9" is regular.
5'9" is normal. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
5'9"
normal.
is totally normal.
You're normal. You're a normal dude.
Yeah, what are you? You're on that 5'7"?
I'm above 5'7", but I can't quite touch 5'8".
I got you.
You know, I'm somewhere in between 5'7" and 5'8". You know, I'm legitimately 5'7". You can't take that away from me.
Yeah.
Like if we were at Disney World and they said you got to be 5'7" to ride this roller coaster, I'm on that thing every time. If they said you got to be 5'8", I don't know if I'd make it every time. Maybe on a good day.
Yeah.
But 5'7", I'm gonna clear that hurdle every single time. I'm happy for Yuki.
Me too.
I don't know if normal-sized men like yourself, certainly not tall men, understand what it's like for people like me and Yuki to try to get through this world. You know, we can't see shit at concerts.
Right.
You can forget about that, buddy. I once stood.
You need that stadium seating.
Bad.
You need that stadium seating at a show. Yeah.
I was once at a concert on the floor. I'm not lying. This is honest, hand to heart. At a concert on the floor, the person standing in front of me the entire time, directly in front of me, the row in front of me, Tyrus Thomas.
Oh, Wolf. You have no chance.
Former NBA player.
Yeah. You're not seeing that concert.
No, I just looked at his back all night long. Went like this, just looked at his back. Be like, Tyrus Thomas got a nice back. Can't see shit at
Because what
concerts.
are you supposed to do? Yeah, you can't be like, hey, can you bend down?
What am I supposed to do?
You can't do nothing.
I should have played. Then you know what I do now? I'm done with the floors. Put me in a riser.
Yeah.
Put me in the first row of the risers.
I like that anyways.
That's where me and Yuki sit at concert. You can't grab stuff off the top shelves almost ever. Buddy, you put cereal on the top shelf, it's just going to stay there. If you don't ever want me to touch your Rice Krispies, put them on the top shelf. I'm too lazy to get a stool. I can't reach it without one. I ain't getting It's tough for me and Yuki. And yet here is little bitty Yuki. He's a real NBA player now. After competing for Japan in the Paris Olympics. It's a wonderful story that leads us to a trivia time.
Okay.
Big Bet Bennett, who's the shortest player in NBA history?
It's Earl Boykins, right?
That's not true.
That's not true. Why did I think he was the shortest? It's not Muggsy Bogues.
Muggsy
Bogues.
Bogues.
It is Muggsy.
Ding,
For some
ding,
reason, I was
ding.
thinking Earl Boykins was shorter.
Ding, ding, ding. Muggsy Bogues is the shortest player in NBA history at 5'3". And after that, you get some other notable short kings. Spud Webb was 5'6". You remember Spud Webb? Won a dunk competition back
Sure
when
did.
dunk competitions used to mean something in this world. Ain't been the same since Dale died. Dunk competitions, you
it
know.
has not.
Man, back when Dale was still around, we got excited
Yeah.
about a good dunk
Save us,
competition.
Ja.
Spud Webb winning a dunk competition was like a big thing that happened
yeah.
once upon a
For
time.
sure.
He was listed at 5'6". Here's another one. I was going through it last night. Among the shortest people to ever play in the NBA, Keith Mr. Jennings. Do you remember Keith Mr. Jennings? You would be too young.
I
You would
do
not
not. I
remember
don't know
that.
Keith Jennings.
Keith Jennings played at East Tennessee State
Okay.
in like late 80s, early 90s, somewhere in that range. I'd say probably more 80s than 90s.
I got you.
But he comes into the Mid-South Coliseum, you can look it up, and balled out against the Tigers. And they called him Mr. Jennings. That was his nickname. He was a big-time college player.
Okay.
Like, think of whoever the mid-major player who stars in college basketball, like in the past 5 years or 10 years, like whoever that guy is, Keith Jennings was that guy. Mr. Jennings was that guy once upon a time. And I always just like the idea of Mr. Jennings. Like when
it's a good nickname.
You ever see like somebody will tweet, they're just trying to get engagement. It's all these social media rules. And it's like, they'll tweet something from a college basketball account. It'll say like, name a random college basketball player.
Yeah.
And somebody will say, Anthony Rice, and they just do that, and then there's 1,000 names, and people like the ones that they remember and whatever. I always, if I were going to participate in something like that, I would put Mr. Jennings down because that's a totally obscure college basketball player from my childhood who I totally remember. Anyway, my buddy Steve Forbes, who's now the head coach at Wake Forest, before that was the head coach at East Tennessee State. And you know what he sent me one day? An autographed Keith Jennings, Mr. Jennings, East Tennessee State jersey.
Very nice.
Keith Jennings.
Shout out.
I got that. It's sitting in my attic with all my other collectibles. I don't display stuff. But maybe I should,
Yeah, maybe you should.
Maybe I will someday. Guess who was also among the shortest players to ever play in the NBA? Yuki ain't the first Grizzly. Jacob Gilliard.
Oh, okay.
5'8". And
shout out Jacob. Gave us some nice minutes.
Then as I was trying to just, take my head away from the Mets having their season eliminated last night, I just started Googling short people, short celebrities. Tell me, did you know all these people are this short? Tell me when I surprise you.
Okay.
I think everybody knows this one. Just like Yuki. Guess who's actually shorter than Yuki? Tom Cruise. You knew that.
I knew he was short, yeah.
5'7". Like, look at me right now. It's basically like you're looking at Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Like
exactly what I think.
Sometimes people look at me and they'll go, you remind me of Tom Cruise. And it's because of our height, mostly. It's mostly because of our height and our ability to do our own stunts. Jon Stewart.
Surprised.
Did you know Jon Stewart's
I didn't know he was a short guy.
5'7". Jon Stewart's just like me and Yuki and Tom Cruise. How about this one? How tall do you think Al Pacino is?
No, I knew he was short. Love Al Pacino, by the way.
5'6". So
the reason I knew he was short is because when they filmed The Godfather, they didn't want him at first because, I think Francis Ford Coppola fought for him in that role because the producers were like, he's too short.
They thought he was too little to guard his position.
He doesn't look like an intimidating figure.
They thought he was too little to guard his position.
Yeah, so I knew he was a short guy.
They thought he'd get posted up and maybe struggle to rebound. You can't have a 5'6" Godfather struggling to rebound in the middle of a trilogy. That's a nightmare. Danny Trejo.
Surprised by this one a little bit just because you think of him as like a badass. I'm not saying short dudes aren't badass, but he went to prison and then got out and became a famous actor.
He's 5'6".
He's all tatted. He looks intimidating.
He looks fine. He looks taller.
Yeah.
Feels taller.
He does feel taller.
You think tattoos make you feel taller?
Probably, yeah.
Maybe I should get tatted. Maybe I should get a sleeve.
I mean, I think it's just like his face, too. Like, it's just like he looks intimidating, so you don't assume that he's just like some short guy.
I don't. I never assumed that about Danny Trejo. I was like, man, that must be.
I like Danny Trejo. I'm a big fan.
And now I know I could post him up. If we ever, find ourselves playing one-on-one, I know I could take him down on the block. I got an inch on him at least.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
5'5".
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Billy Joel. Did not know he was 5'5".
I didn't know he was 5'5". That's extremely small.
A little fella.
Yeah, that's extremely little.
Kendrick Lamar, 5'5".
But you know what? That one's kind of surprising too. The Billy Joel one actually isn't that surprising because great pianists have small hands. They
say. Is that true?
Yeah, and I guess small hands like you're shorter probably.
I mean, look at me.
You got small hands.
Yeah, look at me.
Yeah.
You think I could have been a pianist?
Yeah, dude. I think that that's one of the requirements of being a pianist is having smaller hands.
I'm confident that's not true.
I think it is. I think that what you'll find is that the great pianists in the world have small hands. Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. Something about the movement, it's quicker. You don't have as much distance to cover.
I mean, I can't speak to that, but I'm pretty good on this MacBook Air. You know, I can knock.
That's what I'm saying.
I can knock some words out on this MacBook Air.
It's just like typing on a computer.
It's basically the same thing. I'm like the Billy Joel of MacBook Airs. That's what some people say sometimes. They tell me I look like Tom Cruise, and I'm the Billy Joel on MacBook Airs. Kendrick Lamar, only 5'5". You punk a whole industry being 5'5". That makes me proud.
Good on you.
That makes me proud. Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, I knew he was short.
5'5".
I knew Harry Potter was short. Yeah,
5'5". But
I shouldn't call him that. He doesn't like being called Harry
Potter. I know,
Potter.
but I think I've seen some pictures that. He looked taller.
No, he's always been short.
I think I've seen some pictures.
No, dude, he's always been a short
I think
guy.
he was in this play and he was on stage. And I've seen some pictures. I think he looked taller.
I'm telling you.
You might want to Google it.
Okay.
I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but you might want to Google that. He looked taller to me. Looked like a taller man. Bruno Mars is only 5'5".
I knew that because I saw him in concert, and like he's shorter than his whole band, so we knew that. Yeah.
Tough. That's why every time I thought about getting a band, I was going to make them shorter than me too.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to deal with that. Prince was only 5'2".
That's insane.
A little bitty guy.
I would have never thought that.
He wore heels.
That's the most surprising one. Oh, he wore heels. He
heels.
looked taller than he was. Yeah.
So there's a lot of great short kings out there. Everybody from Tom Cruise to Kendrick Lamar to Bruno Mars to Yuki. And now Yuki's officially an NBA player. It's a nice story.
I'm stoked about Yuki, man. Yeah, it's
people
fun.
are fired up about it.
Oh, dude, listen, I don't know if you've seen it this weekend just looking at all this stuff, but if you post something about Yuki, it's going to get some love, man. People love Yuki. Yeah.
People love it.
Yeah.
Fun story.
Yeah.
We'll see, we'll see if it has any actual impact at the NBA level, but we can all get excited about it. It's a fun story.
Yeah.
Michael Eaves is up next.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
At Southland Casino Hotel, it's time to work hard, play hard with our $500,000 giveaway. Earn entries October through November 9th and take home free play and amazing prizes on select Saturdays, including a big rig. Stay connected on social media for weekly drawing clues. Join us November 9th for the grand finale drawing where you could drive off in a four-wheeler, side-by-side, or big rig. Work hard and play harder at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Fans, don't miss the exciting return of Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow Party at FedEx Forum. Don't miss the world premiere of Scalosaurus. Watch your favorite Hot Wheels monster trucks light up the floor, including Gungster, Bone Shaker, and the legendary Bigfoot. Plus the dazzling dance party, laser light show, and more. And save up to 50% on kids' tickets. Don't miss this one-of-a-kind Hot Wheels experience at FedEx Forum, November 2nd and 3rd. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
John Cena was spilling life lessons on this stream, bro. So the best thing I watched all week, John Cena on the Cassinet stream. By the way, he stole your hairdo. You got to make a phone call.
I was about to say, you showed me a little bit of this clip because I saw the messy room, and the only thing I could see is John Cena's hair. I mean, come on, bro.
He stole your bar.
It's literally identical.
He stole your flow, bar for bar, word for word.
How is mine more gray than his, though?
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. I'm inside the Bill Ford Tough Studio, and on Mondays in the second segment, I'm joined by Michael Eaves, who, of course, is, among other things, a studio host for ESPN. He's here on Zoom. Michael Eaves, it's GP. How you doing?
Dude, it's been a minute since we last talked. So much has happened since then, and I respect you still rocking your Mets hat today because it's out of appreciation for their season, not out of, oh, wow, yeah, we just lost to the Dodgers last night. We are not going to the World Series.
That's right. Like, I'm here every day, my whole life. And so, I honestly, last night, I wasn't even that disappointed. I mean, obviously, I wanted it to go a different direction. But as I tweeted, I was watching meaningful baseball. My favorite team play meaningful baseball on October 20th. That's not a normal thing for Mets fans. I don't want to say I'll take it every year because you want to hold a trophy every once in a while. But I had a blast all summer. It's been fun.
All right, here's the thing, though, Gary. One, you're absolutely right because a couple months ago, your team wasn't even expected to be there.
Right.
Okay, so let's keep that in perspective. And I wish more fans had that same mentality that you have. Sometimes you just have to appreciate for what they did as opposed to being upset about what they did not do. There was only one team wins a championship in every single sport. Everybody's going to be disappointed. So why would you focus so much on the negative emotions of that and just appreciate what you did get for that one season? It's not that hard. That's
exactly right. And that is, I don't want to say it's always been my approach because I don't remember what my approach has always been, but it's certainly been my approach for a while. I know what it's like to spend an entire baseball season 7 games below 500 and the games don't matter and there's nothing to pay attention to. This kept me interested from game 1 through game 162 and all the way through the postseason. That's that's a fun summer for me. I'll take it.
You know, Gary, you know what we call that by you? Growth.
Growth. I needed some. If you'd have knew me in my 20s or 30s, you know I needed some. So maybe it's coming around. Last night, while the Mets and Dodgers were playing, we also had Game 5 of the WNBA Finals, and it was fabulous. Let's start here. I love that the Finals delivered in what is clearly the biggest season in WNBA history, that we didn't have a sweep, we didn't have no drama. I think that's a big thing for the WNBA to put a compelling product on the court to decide a championship, even if it did get controversial. But the way it just delivered real drama, that was excellent for the league.
Yeah, I think it just delivered on what the actual season gave us overall. And I said this to Rebecca Lobo of the United Sports Center. I actually posted on Twitter last night. I think we as fans didn't deserve the quality of play and the quality and the amount of drama that the WNBA playoffs gave us this year. It was so compelling, and not just in the finals. All the way through the regular season, there were storylines and drama. Through the playoffs and into the finals that, oh, by the way, had 2 overtime games. And then Game 5 went to overtime. And the first time that's ever happened in the history of the league. And it was just indicative of the entire season. You had great players making great plays, and then all of a sudden you had other players that a lot of fans had never heard of, right, including Ira Sabali last night. You know her sister, probably you know more than her. She was the reason that Liberty really won that game last night. But it gave us all these compelling storylines that just led to the drama. And as a fan, I mean, I was watching on a plane last night. That was difficult for me watching on a plane. But it was just so compelling all the way down to the final play.
Afterward, obviously, Cheryl Reeve had a post-game press conference that has created a lot of headlines. She went there. She said this championship was stolen from us. Is she right?
All right. Let me preface my answer by saying a couple things here. Sure. One, Game 4, New York's coach was also bitching about the officials and thought that they stole that game from them. Okay, number one. Number two, my lifelong philosophy is this. One play is not the reason any team lost a game. Now, it may ultimately determine the outcome based on how it played out, and it's in the final seconds of a game. There are countless plays that could have happened before that where that losing team would never been in that situation. All right, so that's always been my lifelong philosophy. One play is not the reason, or call is not the reason a team loses. Thirdly, it was not a foul. It was not. Anybody who's played ball, Breanna Stewart, if she was on defense, she would have not thought that was a foul on that particular play, okay? Having said all of that, it was not stolen from them. That's the emotions of a coach defending her players because she knows how much they wanted it. She's won 4. Some of them had won 1 before. She knows what they're feeling. She's protecting their emotions and standing up for them in that moment. But no, I will not say it was stolen from them. I will say it's a shame that was a foul called by the officials. And after review, they didn't have the guts to overturn it.
Obviously, Sabrina Ionescu has been tremendous her entire career. She was tremendous in at least a game in the finals when she hit the big shot. Struggled in game 4 last night, 1 of 19 from the field. I don't know that I can even remember a superstar doing a 1 for 19 in a closeout game, elimination game like that. I imagine when she looks back on it, it'll just be, we won a championship. That's the most important thing. But it's kind of weird to win a championship when you play so poorly doing it.
So here's the thing. If you'd have told the Liberty that Sabrina would have gone 1 for 19, they thought they would have lost.
Sure.
If you'd have said that to the Lynx, they thought they would have won, right? So that to me, Gary, is further proof that one play does not decide the outcome of a game. If you're the Lynx and the second best player, or maybe the third best player, depends on how you look at it, of the other team went 1 for 19, how did you lose the game, right? And so for Sabrina, she's going to be like, I'll say this. For her, in this regard, personally, I'm happy that the Liberty won so she doesn't have to live with that forever. I went 1 for 19, but we still got the chip, right? I think it's going to be harder for the Lynx to live with this, considering their defense was so good and maybe Sabrina played tight. You know, she didn't get a chance to play for a championship in college. Now she's playing for one in the WNBA, and you hold her to 1 for 19 and you lose that game. That for me would be harder to accept if I'm the Lynx.
In the NFL, big injury headline yesterday. Deshaun Watson goes down with what appears to be an Achilles injury. Is it possible? I mean, I know it's possible, but do you think it's likely we've watched him take his last snap in the NFL? Because he has been bad, and now he's going to be someone who's been bad coming off a major, major injury.
I'd say it's a good possibility. And here's the deal. He has a contract that is untradeable. Right. And if you cut him, it's almost as worse to the salary cap situation for the Browns. So the only team that can really play him is the Browns. And to your point, he hasn't played well enough to wait for him to come back from the Achilles anyway. So if they just have to eat that contract and make him QB3 for the remainder of that deal, then that may be the possibility of what's happening there in Cleveland, because especially now the fans have turned on him. Right? Like when he came there, it was all good, regardless of the things he'd been involved in off the field. But now he starts playing bad, and now the fans turn on you. If you're an organization, how can you put him back out there? If he's not producing more than his controversy, how can you put him out there? So, yeah, I think it's a very good possibility.
Jameis Winston got emotional in the locker room afterwards, saying he did not like the idea of Cleveland Browns fans cheering, after Deshaun Watson was injured. I don't know Deshaun Watson. Most of the things I've read about him make me think I wouldn't like him so much. On the other hand, like, that is a man suffering a horrific injury. How do you balance those things? Were you okay with the cheering and just the way that entire thing unfolded?
No, I'm not. Yeah. And here's the thing. A couple things can be true simultaneously, right? I don't think fans should boo when players get injured like that. Matter of fact, I think there's only a few occasions that fans should boo, period, but I'm old school in that regard. But also, there are reasons for people not to like Deshaun Watson. There were reasons for people to criticize the Browns for signing him to that guaranteed contract in the beginning. And for Cleveland fans, so much of this is because, we put up with a lot of stuff because we signed you based on your past, and you come here and you play terrible. Now you're injured. Yeah, boo, get off the field. We are done with you from an emotional standpoint. I understand the feeling, but it's the manner in which you show that emotion that can be questionable. So both things can be true, right? And that's why, to your earlier question, Gary, I just don't see how you can put Deshaun Watson back in a Browns uniform ever again.
Yeah, I think it's probably over, too. Talking to Michael Eaves from ESPN. Meantime, in the spirit of two things can be true, even if it's hard to make sense of them going together, the Kansas City Chiefs are 6-0. Patrick Mahomes has not been very good. How do you make sense of that? Is it just point to the defense?
Yes, their defense is so good. Right. You know, for a couple of years there, it was all about the Kansas City offense, and they can outscore anybody if they have to, and the defense really needs to step up at times, blah, blah, blah. Now the defense is carrying them at a moment that they really need it. Now, to be fair to Andy Reid and that offense, I mean, they've had some horrific injuries to very key parts of an offense from a skilled player position, and they're trying to overcome that. and you have Patrick Mahomes, who everyone will say is the best quarterback in the league right now, and he's not even playing anywhere near his norm, let alone his best, right? And Travis Kelce has not been that playmaker that the Chiefs have had through the years, but here they are still undefeated. So, yes, you have to give a lot of credit to that defense there in Kansas City. And also, if you go back and look at their schedule, like, all right, should they have beaten these teams anyway based on how the schedule played out? You could probably say yes to most of those. But you do have that championship medal, Gary, that is so hard to measure, but you know when a team has it. And obviously the Chiefs do, having won multiple Super Bowls. The question is, though, how long can you sustain this, right? You would think they have to go and get another wide receiver before the trade deadline, especially with Juju Smith-Schuster going down with that hamstring on yesterday. I mean, it won't be the level of Devontae Adams or Mark Cooper, but somebody out there can at least give them a little bit of help. But my thing is this, and I said this earlier this year on First Take, if you put the Chiefs against anybody in a must-win situation, you're going to side with Patrick Mahomes because of his past and what he has done. So regardless of how they struggled to be undefeated, they're still undefeated and still have the best player in the game on their side.
The Jets went out and fired their coach. They grabbed Devontae Adams, and they're still getting beat pretty handedly. Is that just a mess that's not going to get fixed this season, or is there still a chance they can turn it around?
I don't see it turning around. Like, what has anyone seen that would give them that indication other than the fact that they have a Hall of Fame quarterback? But he's a long way from playing Hall of Fame football, and he's coming off a major injury. Right. And look, here's the thing. I understand it's New York, and I understand that my network plays a lot of this in terms of the narrative that gets out there from a conversational standpoint, right? Especially when Mike Greenberg, the host of Get Up, is a huge Jets fan in New York. I get it. I was never of the belief that Aaron Rodgers was going to be the one thing that got the Jets over the hump, right? Oh, their defense is so good. Their defense is so good. The best roster they've ever had. Says who? Right? Just because we say that doesn't mean that's how it actually plays out. Look at other teams around the league this year that we thought were going to be good. Look at the Cowboys, for example. Look where they are. Or the teams we didn't think would be good. Look at the Vikings. They just suffered their first loss yesterday, but they're way better than most people thought. Sometimes our expectations, Gary, are simply wrong. And then the criticism is based off those expectations that may have been inaccurate to begin with. Okay? So maybe the Jets are playing it exactly how they were supposed to be based on their makeup. Oh, by the way, you didn't have Hassan Reddick at the beginning of the year. Now he's going to come back and play. But what did that cost you earlier? No one took that into effect because Aaron Rodgers. Well, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, who hasn't played great the last couple of years and is coming off an Achilles. Like, what are we really doing here besides just wanting something to beat something when reality says it's not quite what we want it to be?
On the other side of the Jets' loss was a Steelers win. Pittsburgh's now 5-2, and Russell Wilson played well last night. Listen, I've laughed at some of the Russell Wilson jokes. I've probably made one here or there. There's something about, I don't know, just being a human, and maybe this is the growth we were referencing earlier. I can look at that man and know that even though he's got a beautiful family and all the money in the world, I bet you things have been challenging and hard. It must suck to suck on such a big stage the way he has in recent years. I don't care how much money you have. That can't make you feel okay. And so to see him have that night last night, there was a part of me, and I don't care anything about Russell Wilson, but there was a part of me that was kind of happy for him to get that.
All right, think about this. This is a guy who's won a Super Bowl, should have won 2, played at an MVP caliber level for a while, goes to Denver and all of a sudden becomes the scapegoat for everything that's wrong with the Broncos, and then goes to Pittsburgh trying to be, something that maybe can put them over the hump and get them back into the Super Bowl, but all of a sudden he's injured. He wasn't ready to play to begin with. Yet no one wants to live through that. No one wants to live through that narrative of who they are as a person or even as an athlete in this particular case. So for him to come out there with so much doubt and so much criticism, people said he shouldn't have even started over Justin Fields, to come out and play as well as he did, especially in the second half. A little rusty to start. That's to be expected. For what you're saying, Gary, from a personal story standpoint, that is awesome for him. Here is my thing when it comes to situations like that. Okay. We always think we know what a team should or should not do. Right. Mike Tomlin and that coaching staff has seen way more Russell Wilson and Justin Fields in practice than we have. Way more. So if they are making that decision, that has to be an educated decision, right? Despite how well Justin Fields played over those first few games. So why would we, from the outside, sit here and criticize Mike Tomlin, who, oh, by the way, has won a Super Bowl himself, that we know more than what he knows and his coaching staff in terms of who should be the starting quarterback for this team right now. Sometimes our audacity as sports fans is pretty funny.
I made this exact point to somebody else. I said, if you are going to publicly make an unpopular decision with your fan base, you have to really believe in it. They've seen something that makes them really believe that this is a move worth doing, and then we all got to see it on Sunday night. But I bet you if we were surprised last night, they probably weren't as surprised as us.
Exactly. And It was funny. After the game, Brandon Marshall came in and asked Mike Tomlin, one of the gutsiest decisions he made to put Russell Wilson in starter, blah, 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 blah. And Mike Tomlin said, that's why I'm very well compensated.
Yeah.
I'm the head coach, dog. Like, this is literally my job, is to make decisions like this. So I have to make them, with conviction, but also with some pretty good knowledge going on behind it.
There's this clip that it went viral years ago, maybe. It pops into my feed every once in a while, but it's him talking about this kind of stuff exactly. And he's like, I know so many coaches who don't want to coach. They want to just blame the players and say, well, he can't do this. No, it's my job to teach him how to do this, to get him to do this. I'm a coach. Let me coach. And it's sort of this under the same umbrella. When you make that decision, like, it's my job to make this decision. These are hard decisions, but I'm going to make them with conviction. I just really like it. I would love to be a Steelers fan because I would love to be a Mike Tomlin fan.
I mean, here's the thing. How can you not be a Mike Tomlin fan?
Yeah.
With everything you've seen from him, the level of integrity he shows, the level of preparation he brings into his team. That's why he's the longest tenured coach in the NFL right now, because of all those attributes. Have they won as many championships as the fans want? No, but no team does. Right. I mean, let's be real, even the Patriots. But he's done things in a way that the Rooney family says, this is the guy that we want to be the face of our organization. And he deserves all the respect, and he also deserves the benefit of the doubt when it comes to putting his team together.
Last thing before I get you out of here. At Texas, they take a loss over the weekend, and now here's Steve Sarkisian having to answer questions about who's going to play quarterback going forward. He has announced that Arch Manning will remain QB2. Yours will remain QB1. But this is not going to go away. I guess we shouldn't be shocked that we've reached a point in Texas season where I bet you talk radio, message boards, this is not the easiest thing to try to navigate when you have a real quarterback controversy and the name Manning attached to it. This is not easy.
No, it's not. But here's my rebuttal to the people who said Arch Manning should be the quarterback. Yeah. How did Arch look against that Georgia defense? He did come into the game.
Yeah.
Right? If he looked good, Sarkisian would have kept him in there. Right. So I understand Sarkisian making the move because he wanted to give viewers a little bit of a break. He thought he might have been a little rattled, what have you. Give him a break a little bit. And then you see Arch going, it's like, oh, well, damn, it ain't yours. It's the damn Georgia defense.
Right.
So, ease up. You got plenty of time to see Arch Manning play quarterback at Texas. And if Steve Sarkisian, who is an offensive-minded coach, thought that Arch was the better option, he would be out there permanently. We're going back to, these coaches' decisions that fans think they're smarter than every coach out there. Trust. You think a coach wants to win a game, that's literally his job. You think he's going to put a player out there he thinks gives a less chance of winning a game?
Right.
That's just asinine to me.
Right. That's Michael Eaves from ESPN. Make sure you're following him on Twitter/X. That's at Michael Eaves, and you can catch him on SportsCenter this week. I appreciate you being here, brother. I'll talk to you on next Monday.
All right, sounds good, brother.
All right, that's Michael Eaves from ESPN. We come back, turn our attention to Memphis football. Fun game Saturday night. Beat North Texas, improved to 6-1. Seth Henningen, 300-yard passing game, and yet announced attendance only 24,000 people. You have a quality football team that is having historic levels of success at the quarterback position, record-setting days, or at least record-tying days at the running back position, scoring a lot of points, and people still haven't really attached to it in any sort of meaningful way. Bennett's rocking his Memphis hat. We'll talk Tiger football next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Justin Timberlake. I'm bringing sexy back. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now. For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
How much have you added weight since you were here?
Bro, I think I was like 20?
Ricky,
like
you were
40 pounds.
You
I'm
were
like 265.
You 265 right now?
In between that and like 273, I'm floating in there.
You have looked at a scale and it said 273.
With shoes on, but still.
Too little.
That's not phone posits either, right?
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping.
It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
We're going to need, the Forum rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane three. Yes, sir! Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
John Cena was spilling life lessons on this stream, bro. So the best thing I watched all week, John Cena on the Cassinet stream. By the way, he stole your hairdo. You got to make a phone call.
I was about to say, you showed me a little bit of this clip because I saw the messy room, and the only thing I could see is John Cena's hair. I mean, come on, bro.
He stole your bar.
It's
he stole
literally identical.
He stole your flow, bar for bar, word for word.
How is mine more gray than his, though?
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
We got to talk about Scottie Pippen Jr. Scottie has inked that contract, and he is now officially off the two-way. He is a member of the regular rotation.
Well-deserved, from my opinion. Like, he straight up earned this one from all the time put in last season with the injuries to Summer League.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Yellow laces, really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges.
I gotta get 'em.
And you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough Studio, and the University of Memphis football program improved to 6-1 over the weekend with a 52-44 victory over North Texas. The Mean Green came to the Liberty Bowl, and they got it handed to them by some combination of Seth Hennigan and Mario Anderson. Seth Hennigan, 24 of 38 for 319 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Mario Anderson, how about this? 22 carries, 183 yards, 4 touchdowns,
feed him.
Tying D'Angelo Williams' record for most rushing touchdowns in a Memphis football game. Announced attendance, 24,100. Let's stop there. Does that concern you as somebody who cares about the University of Memphis and the University of Memphis football program? Because what it illustrates is it doesn't matter what they do. People, I don't want to say folks don't care. That might be overstating it. But folks are not showing up in a way that suggests that they care. Here's what people would say. Well, if you're really good, then people will be there. If you're really exciting, well, people will be there. Well, they are good. They're 6-1. The lone loss is at Navy. And though that felt bad at the time, Navy's still undefeated and ranked 24th in the AP poll. So take the Navy out of it. Here's what I can tell you. Memphis is 6-1 with the lone loss to a nationally ranked team on the road. All right? That's not bad.
No.
Relative to Memphis's history, this is amazing.
For sure.
Nobody cares. They scored 52 points. Nobody cares. Or at least people aren't showing up in a way that suggests that they do. What it illustrates is exactly what I was talking about several weeks back when we were discussing conference realignment seemingly every day. You need to give your fans something to get excited about.
No question.
Something to care about.
No question.
And I know every time I bring up the new Pac-12, somebody is quick to say they don't believe Memphis fans would care about Boise State and Washington State and Oregon State any more than they care about North Texas and Charlotte and Rice, or at least not significantly more, where it would matter in any sort of meaningful way. I just reject that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think that it would be a moment where you go, this isn't what we've always wanted, but it is so much better, because it would be better than where we're at. And you could manufacture a little bit of that excitement and just sort of frame it as this is our next step. We have to take a step, but we weren't going to sit still anymore. This is our next step. It might not be our last one. We don't want it to be our last one, but it was time to make a step. And people would have gotten excited about that. Devin tweeted a picture from the stadium on Saturday, and apparently people were handing out like anti-AAC stickers.
Yes.
All right? That's a huge problem.
One. Yeah.
It's a huge, huge problem. Because if you're waiting around, whether you're Ed Scott or anybody else on that campus, if you're waiting around expecting your fans to re-engage with this, you're learning right now they're just not going to. Because you have a good football program right now. But you can't crack 30,000 in that place.
Right.
And you have a basketball program that, for all of the nonsense connected to it, is still somewhere between 30 and 40 spots better than everybody else in the AAC at KenPom.com and at BartTorvik.com. Call over there in the next break and ask them how many season tickets they've sold. If this is what it's like when you're actually good, what do you think happens when you're not as good? If this is as good as it gets, this ain't good enough. And you will continue to lose fans who have cared their whole lives, and you'll fail to miss out on the opportunity to create new ones. I don't mean to keep beating a dead horse, but like, my kids are not growing up Memphis basketball fans and Memphis football fans. They just don't care. It's on in our house every time it's on. They just have not connected to it in any sort of meaningful way. And my fear is that we have an entire generation of young Memphis area children who are not growing up the way I grew up, the way you grew up. When you were my little guy's age, you cared about that place. So did I. My guys don't. And I don't think my neighbors over here do. And I don't think my neighbors over here do. And I don't hear a lot of it anymore. And now they're actually having a wildly successful, relatively speaking, we're not talking about Georgia and Alabama and Tennessee here, but relative to Memphis football, this is a pretty nice thing that's going on.
Oh, it's awesome.
You've got a quarterback who is going to go down as the winningest quarterback in school history. You've got a running back tying records set by the greatest running back in school history.
Yeah.
This should be a good time to be a Memphis football fan.
Yeah, I mean,
and if I wouldn't have brought up Memphis football today, nobody would have cared. I don't think there's anybody sitting here waiting for me to talk about this.
I think it's why I've been saying when we talked about all the conference realignment stuff, like, again, you're not going to lose me. You're not going to lose you. You're not going to lose the 24,000 people that were there except when they grow old and die. But you're not going to lose those people. I'm worried about the future of the fan base. That's what scares me the most about the situation, is because you've just got to give younger fans something to get up for. And it ain't North Texas. It's just not. And I know, like, you're supposed to care about the team that you root for. I totally get it. And this should be celebrated. Like, this is a great day for Memphis football. It should always be celebrated, in my opinion, when Memphis football is 6-1 to start a season. It's incredible for this school. I love it, and Ryan's doing a great job. But yeah, man, I think the fan base has just been so beat down by all of this and getting passed over so many times now that you had this opportunity in front of you to just give it a jolt, give it a shot in the arm, and you passed on it. And that's why I just think it was a big mistake. It's why I still stand on that.
Well, I agree with one thing and slightly disagree with another. I agree with you that we're losing a generation of people, right? Like, kids aren't growing up saying, take me to FedEx Forum to see the Tigers. It's just not happening that much, I don't believe. And certainly the turnstile counts would underline that. I do think it is possible, this is where I disagree, to lose, when you say things like, you'll always be there, or everybody won't always be there.
That's true. I guess that's true. Yeah.
How about this? My mother loves the Tigers, loves them. I used to buy her season tickets to basketball, right? I'd buy them for her, and she would go with a friend or take one of our kids or go with my wife or whatever. Not only do I not get them for her anymore, she doesn't even ask. She hasn't asked. I can't remember the last time my mother has asked me if I had tickets to a Memphis basketball game. Like, that's just one thing. That's just one story, but that's a real story. Yeah. We have gone from my mother asking me to buy her Memphis basketball season tickets to my mother not even asking me if I ever have a ticket to a Memphis basketball game.
Yeah.
She has not brought it up in years.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
I had a buddy yesterday. He's a lifelong Memphis fan and loves everything about Memphis. Like, anything to do with Memphis, can't wait to support it.
Right.
Like, I could show you the text. He's like, I wouldn't even go if they gave me free tickets. I don't care.
No, I would go. If someone gives me free tickets, I'll be there. And I totally agree with all that. I think one thing that can change, like, immediately this season is if they realistically have a shot to win a conference championship, which is going to take Navy losing a game. That's going to have to happen for them. Now,
Army losing would help as well.
Yeah.
There's multiple paths to get there.
There's paths to get there. And I do think that if, like, a path opens up, like, within the next, let's say, 2 weeks, that you'll see that interest really shoot up quite a bit. But again, that's like towards the end of the season. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let me ask you this. We are in late October. Memphis is 6-1. And whether Memphis gets to where we want it to be, a conference championship game, is obviously reliant on what Memphis does, but it's also reliant on what Navy does and what Army does to some degree. All right? Were you monitoring the Navy score on Saturday?
I was, yes.
Were you really?
Well, yeah, because again, the Tigers are 6-1. Like, they need, and you win that Navy game, you're in the driver's seat, right? You didn't, so you're not. But you need one slip up to be right back in the position that you were hoping for before you started conference play.
I bet you are wildly in the minority about already scoreboard watching AAC standings and stuff like that. But we should be doing that.
Yes.
As Memphians and Tiger football fans, you should wake up on Saturday going, we got to smack North Texas, and man, wouldn't it be cool if Charlotte could somehow put a scare in the Navy? You should be thinking about those things. Like, as a baseball fan, like, as the regular season is unfolding, I'm like, not just watching Mets games, I'm watching Braves games because I need the Braves to lose because you're in a wild card race. That's what it's like to be a fan.
Yeah.
You, like, engage in all of it. You know, so who's playing here and who's pitching there and who's doing this and all the circumstances. And I appreciate that you were actually scoreboard watching in the AAC on Saturday, but I can't imagine there's more than about a dozen of you, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem. You ready for this? theoretically, it is still possible on October 21st. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
It is still possible on October 21st, 2024, that we are right now, you and I and everybody else, experiencing what will become the greatest season in Memphis football history.
Right.
Do you realize we could be living through that right now?
Yes, we could be living in it, yes.
Does it feel that way to you?
No, and again, like I hate beating a dead horse with the conference thing because I do feel like that they deserve to be celebrated for what happened over the weekend, and we're coming in here and talking about it. But again, the crowd was the crowd on Saturday, and so obviously there was a lack of interest.
If you think that was rough, let's see what happens Saturday at 11 a.m. against. Was it Charlotte?
See, and that's why I just am always going to stand on this, is because imagine if you get that win over North Texas, you're 6-1, and then number 17 Boise State's coming into town this Saturday.
Different deal.
And it's a completely different deal. Or Washington State, Oregon State, any of them.
You ready? It's double.
It's double. It's double. Like I
don't want to say. I don't know what it would be, but it would be noticeably different.
Yes, it absolutely would.
We would talk about it every day this week.
Mm-hmm.
This will probably be the last time we talk about Memphis football this week. When you get to a point to when even when you're being successful, your fans have clocked out on it, you got a real problem.
Yeah, and again, like it's not hard to get that. Again, we are not that far removed from game day, from the SMU game. And I know that was the high point of Memphis football. I totally get it. You're 5 years removed from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like this can't be recaptured.
Mm-hmm.
It can be, but
think about everything connected to that day. You were in a better league, the same league in name, but a better version of it. The team that your fan base was so excited to bring in here and play with a conference championship possibly on the line. Well, they're now in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've moved on, and you're stuck with back-to-back home games against North Texas and Charlotte.
Right.
And to me, if I were working on that campus, this would be the thing that concerns me the most, because you can no longer lie to yourself. This is what people forever do. The set this idea of something up in their head and then go, well, if we ever get that, then everything would be fine. And you never really get that completely. So you can always say, if we ever did, though, everything would be good. You cannot honestly say right now that if Memphis football gets good, people will care. Not in this league, because Memphis football is good,
right?
And people don't care. I was on golf courses, baseball fields, restaurants, grocery stores. These are all places I was out in public this weekend. Nobody said a word to me about Memphis football. Not one. I was asked about John Morant. I was asked about Yuki. I was asked about the Mets, obviously. I was asked if I saw the Texas-Georgia game. I was asked about Alabama-Tennessee. Nobody mentioned Memphis football. So you can't be sitting over on that campus saying, well, we just got to, if we can just build an exciting, successful football program, then
they'll come.
You got it.
Right.
You have an exciting, successful football program. Can't get anybody to care.
Mm-hmm.
That's a league problem. And every day you continue to sit in this one is a day that it's going to get worse.
Get
not
me
better.
out.
It's going to get worse, not better. We come back. The World Series is now set. It's going to be Dodgers and Yankees. Tickets went on sale this morning. All 7 games. Obviously, you're not guaranteed 7, but all 7 games go on sale. Every ticket is sold out already. And on the secondary market, cheapest ticket available right now, if you want to try to get a ticket at Yankee Stadium or Dodger Stadium for any of these games, you cannot get into the stadium right now in the secondary market for less than $1,000 a ticket. We'll talk baseball after the break. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Justin Timberlake. I'm bringing sexy back. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now. So if I get jealous, I can't help it. For more, hit up JustinTimberlake.com.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Somebody else we have not seen in a long time is Morant. Since you've seen him, does he look any different to you, or is this the same superstar Ja that we were used to?
He's always getting better, so you just got to watch out for that. That's.
And it's a revenge tour. Yeah. It's a revenge tour, like the world's forgotten about me. And
I don't think they forgot.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Dinosaur draft.
Give me Littlefoot.
Littlefoot's a great pick in your alternate reality. Right. in your fake dinosaur draft, because you don't believe in real dinosaurs. Give me a velociraptor. It's so cute and so scary.
That's not a real velociraptor.
That's not a chicken.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Congratulations to the Vanderbilt Commodores. They have actually hit the over on their win total for the season. Winning number 3. Their total was 2.5.
Hey, listen. If I had told you Vanderbilt was going to hit the over on their win total against Alabama, you guys would have kicked me off the show.
Crazy. Absolutely insane.
I tried to argue that they were going to be bowl eligible.
I said that was good. And they still might not be.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Yellow laces, really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges.
I gotta get 'em.
And you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
You know, we got to talk about Scottie Pippen Jr. Scottie has inked that contract. He is now officially off the two-way. He is a member of the regular rotation.
Well-deserved, from my opinion. Like, he straight up earned this one from all the time put in last season with the injuries to Summer League.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzby, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping. It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
We're going to need, the form rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane three. Yes, sir! Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. And that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Final score, Dodgers 10, Mets 5. That is that. Game 6 of the NLCS went to the home team in Los Angeles. They win the series 4-2. Mets season is over. Not sad that it's over.
Okay.
Just appreciative that got to experience
I think that's a good way to feel. I think that's a good way to feel.
Hard to be upset when you lose while Shohei Ohtani is 18 of 20 of his last 23 with runners in scoring position. Do you know how absurd that is?
It's insane.
18 of 23.
Yeah.
That's like if you heard of a 7-year-old going 18 of 23 in coach pitch, you'd be like, man, that's pretty.
That kid's insane.
Even for coach pitch, that's wild.
Right.
This is Major League Baseball. 18 of 23?
Yeah.
He's treating it like what?
It's crazy. No, I when I was watching, I was like, I bet this is way easier for GP just because like that team was clearly there wasn't a moment where it was like, come on, man, we're getting screwed, like anything like that.
Well,
it was just,
early they just kept leaving runners in scoring position. They could have busted it open early. I mean, the Dodgers were in a bullpen game. You had your ace. Shamanai was not good. He only got 6 outs. But like they go up 1-0, then they're down 2-1. But then it's like 2 on, 1 out. Bases loaded, 1 out. Bases loaded, Lindor up. They never got the big hit.
Never got it.
Never got the big. Like you could have busted it open, and the Dodgers might have just folded and been like, all right, we were in a bullpen game anyway. Let's just come back tomorrow. We'll win this in Game 7. And then you'd probably lost Game 7, so whatever. You know, it is what it is. But just missed opportunities. That's frustrating. But whatever. Like I tweeted last night, I got to watch baseball. My favorite team play on October 20th.
Pretty good.
You don't get that every year. I don't get that every year. I guess if you're a different fan base, you have an opportunity, I guess, to get that more often than we have over here on this side of the fence. But October 20th baseball with the New York Mets, I'll take it. And now they go into an interesting offseason. Pete Alonso, free agent. Juan Soto, going to hit free agency. There's some thought that if you don't bring back Alonso,
go get Soto.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because it's too deflating for your fan base.
Wouldn't you? I know Pete Alonso's like a beloved figure there. Wouldn't you rather have Juan Soto?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
But you know, one of them's going to cost $100 million.
I know.
and the other one's going to cost $700 million.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the numbers I've seen.
But y'all are going to spend. Your owner's going to spend.
Oh yeah. Like they'll put all the reporting suggests they will put an offer on the table for Soto, and it's just a matter of can you sell him on. It's going to come down to the Yankees and Mets and like what side of the city you want to work on. Yeah. Well, what side of the city do you want to work on for $700 million? I think it becomes harder for him to leave there and harder for the Yankees to let him leave there.
Especially if they win.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you're a Mets fan who wants Juan Soto, you probably are rooting for the Dodgers because you don't need him to get emotionally attached to it. Like, I can't walk away after just winning a World Series here. I don't even, but like that's to suggest I understand what motivates Juan Soto.
Right.
That might not even care to him. Like, remember Kawhi Leonard won a championship in Toronto and he was like, peace out.
That's true.
You know, so you can bounce whenever you bounce, but he's going to be rich, Juan Soto. And I'll show you why in just a second. Yeah. But I think if you're a Mets fan, you might need to root for the Dodgers if you want Juan Soto to leave New York. Either way, fun season. They went from seemingly out of it early to the best team in baseball from June 1st through the end of the regular season. And, you know, if you want to look at the positive, probably saved me like $50,000.
Oh, you're going to go?
We were going to go to the World Series?
Yeah, you have to.
I thought I had to.
I think you have to if you get there.
I thought I had to. Yankees, and then I got, you know, I ain't a single man. I can't go by myself.
Yeah, that's not fair.
We'd have been doing
what?
It would have been. I'm glad.
It would have been outrageously expensive.
Yes, and I'm glad we don't have to do that. There's probably better ways to spend money and time.
How much would it have cost? Like
a lot.
Okay.
A lot.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to game 1. I wanted to try to be there for a closeout game.
Yeah.
And that would have been booking plane tickets at the last minute, buying off the secondary market.
Right.
I probably made like $50,000 last night with the Mets losing.
Yeah.
It saved me like $50,000.
Good.
I mean, that's probably overstating it, but I'm
positive. Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited to not spend money at StubHub.com.
Yeah.
Plus, honestly, I got a lot of TV to catch up on. I've been watching a lot of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I got other things. It's time for me to diversify my interest a little bit.
Good, man.
I've been immersed in baseball. It's time for me to look up and go, okay, what's going on in the world?
Yeah.
Anything going on in the world interesting?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff going on.
I
don't know
heard.
if you heard. We got an election coming up. It's like we're right here. We're at the finish line.
I did
Yeah.
hear about that.
We're at the finish line.
I did hear about that.
So
heard we had some conflicts over in the Middle East.
yeah, there's quite a bit going on actually.
I've been immersed in baseball.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to catch
We're
up.
coming off like some historically bad hurricanes. Like
I'm gonna do some reading.
Lot happening.
I'm gonna do some
Yeah.
reading when I get out of here. Do some reading and catch up now that my baseball season is over.
Number 2.
Congratulations to the New York Yankees. They advanced to the World Series to face the Dodgers. They did their closeout game on Saturday night. It was in Cleveland. 10th inning home run from Juan Soto. It was 2-2 in the 10th, 2 on, and then one of the greatest baseball players in this world stepped up to the plate, and we'll watch him hit it together.
Got a steal. Soto, a high fly ball to center.
boy.
Thomas backing up. Thomas at the track. And Juan Soto! A 3-run home run! Soto magic in Game 5!
What's better than that?
Sick.
As Juan Soto goes deep.
I don't have any love for the New York Yankees. I think that goes without saying. But
That was cool.
I do love awesome baseball moments.
Yeah, that was cool.
And that was an awesome baseball moment.
He crushed that thing.
Possibly his last awesome baseball moment in a Yankees uniform. Next time you see him do that, could be in a Mets uniform.
We'll see.
I hope so.
We'll see. This series is gonna be
awesome.
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
Like Lang was out there, and Lang was like, "Dodgers, Yankees." He was like, like because people, it's big market, big spending teams.
I know.
I get it. Like if you're sitting in Cincinnati, you're probably like, yeah, F both these teams.
Yeah, sure.
They bought their way here. It's Yankees, Dodgers. It's Shohei.
Pretty cool.
Ohtani and Mookie Betts on this side. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton over here.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
It is good. I'm excited about this series.
As
I'm
a-
glad we got it.
As
yeah.
a baseball fan, I am excited for, I would rather it be Mets Yankees, obviously, but Dodgers Yankees is pretty awesome.
It's
World
good.
Series.
I think you're gonna get.
And I think even bigger than Mets
dude,
Yankees.
you're gonna get so many more casual viewers that just it's the Yankees and the Dodgers, right? Yeah.
And Shohei doing what he just did.
Yeah.
Coming into it, like he's broken through to where I don't even think you got to be a baseball fan to be aware that there's this thing called Shohei Ohtani who's doing amazing things. So it's as good as it gets for the World Series. It's still baseball and football season, so that's never ideal. But Dodgers Yankees should be a fun one. I told you, tickets went on sale this morning. Everything sold out immediately. And on the secondary market right now, if you're trying to get in the stadium, any stadium, cheapest ticket, $1,000.
Damn.
You want to?
That's wild.
You want the worst seat in Yankee Stadium for Game 1? $1,000.
That's pretty wild. Like it. Because what's the capacity of Yankee Stadium? Like if that was happening here in the NBA Finals, okay, I get it. You got 18,000 seats. Like I totally understand that. Like every single ticket's going to be a premium cost, but as big as those stadiums are, that's kind of surprising.
Yankee Stadium capacity crowd 46,537, and the worst seat in there right now is going for $1,000.
I'm gonna watch it on TV.
Me too.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna watch it on TV. I'm gonna keep my money in my bank. I think.
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 3.
Bills 34, Titans 10.
Oh, speaking of not caring.
1-5 now on the season, 1-2 away from home. Mason Rudolph took the loss under center, and that's because Will Levis is injured. And is there controversy attached to it?
Yeah, I mean, like Adam Schefter put out this report saying that he's got a shoulder sprain and that he could miss multiple weeks because of this. The thing is, they let him play last week when he was dealing with the shoulder sprain. It's kind of weird. It's one of those. because obviously he sucks, and so they're trying to figure out how to win football games. So obviously there's a lot of speculation surrounding what's going on here, because some people have suggested, well, he said he was good, and he said he was good to go and he could play and everything, but every time he screws up and has a bad game in the press conference, he says, well, I'm dealing with an injury. So they were like, okay, dude, like if you're going to say that every time you have a bad game, then we're just not going to play you.
Right.
So that's one thing. But then Schefter says he could miss multiple weeks. So it's like, well, maybe it is a real thing that he's dealing with. I think maybe it could be somewhere in the middle, possibly. But they're just a disaster, dude. Like, I mean, if the Carolina Panthers didn't exist, like the Titans would be the worst. I mean, I guess the Browns too.
You'd rather be a Titans fan than a Browns fan, but you can't say that about too many franchises right now.
I think you'd only rather be a Titans fan than a Browns fan, because the Browns are cursed. Like they're
cursed.
They're just never gonna get out of the curse.
I'm starting to think that might be true.
Yeah, they're just never gonna emerge from the curse.
It feels like that might be true. I know you didn't have high expectations coming into the season, but it's still, here's the way I am.
Oh, it's worse than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah. Like there are times, like I actually did have high expectations coming into last season for the Mets. I had real high expectations. This season, not so much. But even if I quietly don't really have high expectations, or publicly don't have high expectations, like somewhere inside of me, I'm still like, well, you never know.
Yeah.
I'm like, somebody surprises every year. Could be us this time. That's got to be living inside of you somewhere. Yes. And then you get smacked in the face with 1-5. It's just a hard way to live. You're living a hard life right now as a bearded man.
It is. And I mean, I guess the one positive is it's good to know that, like, Will Levis is not the guy. No. Like, you've seen enough to know he cannot be your starting quarterback going forward. We know that. I hope
you say you know that, but this is the same stuff we used to say about Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold.
So that's the thing, is those two guys, but those are such outliers in my opinion. Like the Sam Darnold thing is just random as hell. He's with a good organization now. He's played for bad organizations before. So I don't know. The dude had mono for a full season, for God's sake. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe he just needed the right situation. The Baker thing's just really cool. That's just a cool story. That guy was out of the league and got that opportunity with the Rams, turned it into a deal with the Bucks, and he's been awesome there. So do I think Will Levis could be a Baker Mayfield story? No, because, again, that Baker Mayfield story is really cool and kind of out of nowhere. That doesn't happen,
Wow, but it can happen.
I just don't. And again, it took 3-4 teams for Baker Mayfield to find.
Yeah, I'm not trying to argue with you. I think Will Levis sucks too.
He's bad.
Yeah,
he's got to go.
But what is true is these are the same things people once said about Sam Darnold, and once said about Baker Mayfield, and once said about other quarterbacks. And sometimes if you give it time, things start coming around.
And you know what makes me just I was about to say something on Twitter, and I was like, I'm just going to let it go because Jaden Daniels gets injured in that game for the Commanders yesterday. When they beat the crap out of the Panthers, and Marcus Mariota comes in. He's the backup in Washington and kills it. Just absolutely kills it. And for all those people that argued with me about, well, Tannehill is so much better over the year.
You're never going to stop talking about Ryan Tannehill, are you?
Bro, he's not even in the league. Marcus Mariota's had a long NFL career. Granted, a lot of it is a backup, but he's had a long career. Like, dude, Marcus Mariota's better football player than Ryan Tannehill. I stand on that. I stand on that.
Well, Bennett, you're the only person on the planet thinking about Marcus Mariota and Ryan Tannehill today.
I was happy for Marcus yesterday. I was really fired up for him.
I love how much you carry around hatred of Ryan Tannehill. If you ever saw him at Whole Foods, how would you handle that situation, you think?
I'd just walk past him.
Probably.
Yeah. Like if I saw any other Titans that I have enjoyed, I'd probably say, "Hey man, a big fan." Ryan, I'm just going to
keep walking. Just go get your pears and get on out of there.
Yeah, I won't be mean or anything.
No, he wouldn't be mean.
No,
not at Whole Foods. That's a crazy place to be mean.
Man, goodness,
it's tough.
They're in trouble. Their new coach Brian Callahan has shown nothing to suggest that he's a good NFL coach yet.
That's the other thing. You had a coach people thought was good.
Yeah.
Why do you not want that guy?
We have not. Literally, we've seen nothing. The offense, there's nothing. The offense is inept as usual. So he's supposed to be this offensive genius. They look just as bad as I've ever seen him under the Vrabel years. So
well, I'd like to tell you to get better, but I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe it. I'm not sure
I believe it either, GP.
Hey, at least Deshaun Watson's not your quarterback, Could be worse.
He'll never play in the NFL again, right?
Maybe not.
No.
I would say it's closer to no than yes.
No team would do it. I mean, he's going to be coming off. He'll miss at least the next full season of football with this Achilles injury.
Well, the only reason you bring an accused rapist into your franchise if you think he's so awesome that, hey, we got to do what we got to do. Now it's like, do you want to bring in an accused rapist who sucks at football and is coming off a major injury? Like, who needs that headache?
Right.
Like, I might take a couple days of bad PR and put me on 60 Minutes if I'm going to, win 12 games. Mm-hmm. But we're going to bring in an accused rapist and get a bunch of bad publicity so he can be our backup quarterback?
Right.
Nah. He might be done.
I think he might be done.
He might be done.
Yeah. Well, he made a lot of money.
That's his problem. It ain't my problem. I got my own problems.
Yeah, I got my own problems.
Number 4.
You want to watch Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson fight again? Because they might.
I mean, do I want to? No. Will I? Sure. Yeah. How much is it?
I probably would too. Lennox Lewis, TMZ caught up with him yesterday.
Okay.
And asked him about a possible rematch for Mike Tyson because we've reached a point in boxing where you can't just actually have two great boxers in their prime box. That's nobody cares about.
Stupid.
Nobody wants
Why would
that.
you do that?
Nobody wants that. Hey, do you want to get two in their prime world-class boxers to box? No, nobody cares about that.
What's Jake Paul doing?
Let's get Jake Paul and a 60-year-old. Let's get Jake Paul and a 60-year-old. I mean, that's really what we're doing. So they catch up with Lennox Lewis. TMZ does yesterday, and they said, you're going to get back in the ring with Mike Tyson? He says, if he beats Jake Paul, then we will consider it. We could have Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson 2. First time in the pyramid. Where will we do it this time?
Can we make room in the Bass Pro?
Clear it out one last time.
Could we? I'm trying to think because, how many people is it bringing in? What's our crowd looking like? I don't think you can sell out FedEx Forum.
Dude,
can Tyson Lewis sell out FedEx Forum?
Mike Tyson's 59 and Lennox Lewis is 58. It's actually disgusting that we would think about watching two 60-year-old men fight each other.
Yeah, I think max you're getting 10,000 in this building. Max. I don't even think you can do that. Tickets gonna have to be cheap.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if it was an actual real headline that I'm trying to think of the equivalent? Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley are going to play one-on-one tomorrow.
Yeah,
we'd be like, "What? Can't y'all just find something else to do?"
Right?
Why are y'all still playing basketball against each other? It's 60. Why do we want Mike Tyson to still fight?
Why are they doing this to him?
He's an old man.
I know.
Like, we shouldn't be
I don't want to see this.
We watched Muhammad Ali fight longer than he should have. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know how that ended up.
Right, it didn't
It wasn't great. And we keep wanting Mike Tyson to just fight people. Hey, will you fight a young Jake Paul? Sure. Would you fight an old Lennox Lewis? Whatever.
Are they going to fight, by the way? Is that happening?
No, I think it is happening.
It says it's back on.
Yeah, there's too much money attached to it now.
You just have to do it.
You just have to do it, even if it's go out there and just take a fall. But it's too much money attached to it now.
I don't want to see that happen.
I just don't. One of my favorite memories is being at Tyson Lewis. Mm-hmm. One of the most enjoyable things I've ever covered. Coolest experience I've ever had.
Yeah, you and Leo and Toby.
Man, miss those guys sometimes. You know?
Yeah, dude.
I miss those guys sometimes.
I don't know if they'd come back for this one.
I don't know that Leo and Toby would come back for this one.
I don't think so.
You want them back in downtown Memphis, you're going to have to tell them two 22-year-old models are fighting. They might show up for that one, but I don't think we're going to get them for Tyson Lewis again.
No.
I don't need it.
I don't need it.
As somebody who can identify as the Mike Tyson beat writer of the Tyson Lewis event in Memphis back in 2000, I don't need this. I don't need this.
Mm-mm.
I say we just let Lennox Lewis not fight over here and old Mike Tyson not fight over here. And let's just try to keep everybody's brains intact.
Yes, I like that plan.
As best we can.
Number 5.
Horrific scene, Shelby Farms this weekend. Ellie Young, a 22-year-old first-year medical student, was murdered allegedly by her ex-boyfriend a person named Jackson Hopper, who's a 26-year-old from Tiptonville. Have you read about this?
Yeah, dude. I was following pretty closely on Saturday. Just because you want to know what's happening. First thing you see.
First thing you hear is a shooting at Shelby Farms.
Like, oh my God, yeah.
Because then you go, oh my God, we go to Shelby Farms. My kids go to Shelby Farms. Like my oldest son goes to Shelby Farms all the time.
Right, we go all the time. Yeah,
and it's like and then you hear it was a targeted attack, and it was likely a domestic issue, and the witnesses' reports are that. I mean, I think the story we know now is different than the story that was initially emerging. But what it appears to be true now is Jackson Hopper, who has been described as her ex-boyfriend, followed her to Shelby Farms.
Jeez,
she parked and he put bullets in her and took off. And they caught him less than 3 hours later, a county over. Mm-hmm. There was a pursuit and some officers were injured. And the whole thing is just bananas. But it's just when stuff like this happens, I am the person. You ever do this? You go to Facebook and you'll just type in a name and it'll be connected to something like this, and it'll say, this is a popular search right now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the reason I'm helping create the popular search. And I just start going through Facebook pages and Instagrams, and you find her Instagram pretty quickly, and you find his Instagram pretty quickly. And these were just normal people at some, living lives. And I don't know either one of these people. I don't know anything about their relationship other than what's been publicly made available so far. But these are just two normal people, and somehow it leads to this. And now two families are devastated because obviously Ellie's family is, you can't even imagine something like this.
Right.
But and this young man, if guilty, and all indications are that he is, he should spend the rest of his life in prison. I will not shed a tear for him. But, there are people who love him and care about him and raised him and probably had good experiences with him somewhere along the ways. And I can't imagine what that's like to be on that side of it. So just you just wonder what makes somebody do something like this.
I know, man.
What? Obviously, you should never murder anybody. That goes without saying.
Right.
But nothing is this important, particularly when it comes to young relationships. I remember giving this advice to somebody because you have to learn it yourself sometimes too. Because when you are young, everything feels like the end of the world. It just does. I'd be lying to you if I told you I never cried myself to sleep when I was in my 20s, about, some relationship gone bad or whatever. We've all been there. A relationship.
No, you think it's the end of the world.
You think it's the end of the world. I'm just telling you from experience, it's not.
Right.
It never is. There is not a thing I cared about in the world at 26 that I still care about. That's an overstatement, but you get the point.
Right.
I remember at a younger friend, and he was down in the dumps about his relationship. It was a long time ago, this conversation, but he was in his early 20s. She was in her early 20s. And he was I could tell he's really going through it. And I was trying to talk to him a little bit about it. Really just listen. Because I knew when I'd ever felt that way, I liked it when somebody wanted to listen. What you find out is most people don't want to listen. They don't give a shit. Because, shut up. But I always appreciated when somebody would listen. So I was trying to listen to him. And I just remember telling him, I said, hold on. I said, so how long you know this girl? He said, well, I've known her, 4 years. How long did y'all date? 2 years. Okay, cool. You have a house with her? No. You have any cars? Are you financially tied to this person in any way? No. Okay. Do you have any children with her? No. So you could really just never talk again and it wouldn't matter. You don't have to get lawyers. You don't have to drop a kid off over for the weekend. You could never see each other again and that would be okay. And he said, well, yeah, I guess so. I said, oh, buddy, you're going to be fine. I know you don't feel it right now, but give it a year. Give it 6 months, maybe 18. I don't know. I'm telling you from experience, you will, right now, this is all you're thinking about. It's consuming you. You'll wake up one day and you'll just realize, I haven't thought about this in weeks. I haven't thought about this at all. it will not matter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It never does. I have never met somebody my age who is still sitting around thinking about somebody they knew 30 years ago or 20 years ago. It just does not matter. And yet you get to such a place where you think it does that you do some shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
It's tough, man.
Tough.
Yeah, I hated seeing that.
Just the absolute worst. And so then you think about all the people who were out there, right? I saw some people taking some.
Yeah, there's a big walk going on. I believe it's like a breast cancer awareness.
There are people who thought they were going to a park on Saturday. For whatever reason, you go to a park on Saturday and they watch somebody get murdered.
Right.
That happened this weekend. You think you're going to a park to relax and be at peace and be with all the stuff, all the good feelings that come with going to a park. Like, I'm not an outdoorsy guy, but like I do often when the weather's nice. When I'm in New York, I love walking through Central Park. I'll spend hours in there just walking around, put the AirPods in, take one AirPod out so I can hear, what I'm listening to, but also hear, just everything that's going on. It's just these things make you feel good. They're supposed to. And now you're quite literally, there is somebody, I don't know their name. There's somebody who woke up Saturday, said, let's go to the park. It'd be a beautiful day. And now they are traumatized. They saw something they'll never get out of their head.
Yeah.
It's a messed up deal.
Yeah, it is messed up.
So I saw some people taking something and at least it wasn't a random act of violence, because you hear about the random acts of violence, like that could have happened to anybody. And what you learn about this, we think, is that this couldn't have happened to anybody. This was very intentional by design. But still, people had to witness it and be what?
Yeah.
The whole thing just makes me sad.
It makes me sad, too.
And there's other stories from the weekend.
Yeah, it was a rough weekend in Memphis, man.
I mean, there's a shooting downtown. Somebody just opened fire. Reportedly, two groups of people opened fire on each other. A woman got shot standing out in front of a hotel. What do you think that does?
Yeah.
We gotta
get this under control.
I mean,
there's clearly a big problem that's got to get under control. Yeah.
If we've gotten to a point where somebody says, hey, be careful standing outside the hotel waiting on an Uber because, you never know. That's a bad place to be.
Yep.
That is a horrific place to be. And a real problem, let's be honest, for this organization. If we get to a point where people are too scared to come to games, that's a real problem. A real problem. So we can keep saying we're doing everything we need to do, but you got to get this under control.
You got to.
I know somebody who was planning to come downtown tonight for dinner. Had reservations, coming downtown tonight for dinner, and had decided, let's just go somewhere else. Let's go to a different part of town because of what happened over the weekend. That's an awful place to be for downtown businesses, just for our city in general. I'm not smart enough to know how to fix any of this, but I know
someone needs to be.
We need to find somebody smart enough to fix it.
Yep.
Because things aren't going so well right now. Be back in a second.
Yellow laces, really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges.
I gotta get 'em.
And you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
How much have you added weight since you were here?
Bro, I think I was 20?
Rookie, you were
40 pounds.
You
I'm
were
265.
You're 265 right now?
In between that and 273, I'm floating in there.
What? You have looked at a scale and it said 273.
With shoes on, but still.
Too little.
That's not phone posits either, right?
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Anticipate each challenge. Make a quick response.
Capitalize on every opportunity and win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
At Southland Casino Hotel, it's time to work hard, play hard with our $500,000 giveaway. Earn entries October through November 9th and take home free play and amazing prizes on select Saturdays, including a big rig. Stay connected on social media for weekly drawing clues. Join us November 9th for the grand finale drawing where you could drive off in a four-wheeler, side-by-side, or big rig. Work hard and play harder at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Hot Wheels fans, don't miss the exciting return of Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow Party at FedEx Forum. Don't miss the world premiere of Scalosaurus. Watch your favorite Hot Wheels monster trucks light up the floor, including Gungster, Bone Shaker, and the legendary Bigfoot. Plus the dazzling dance party, laser light show, and more. And save up to 50% on kids' tickets. Don't miss this one-of-a-kind Hot Wheels experience at FedEx Forum, November 2nd and 3rd. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
Justin Timberlake. I'm bringing sexy back. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now. For more, hit up JustinTimberlake.com.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping. It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
We're going to need, the Forum rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bain three. Yes, sir! Desmond Bain with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
John Cena was spilling life lessons on this stream, bro. So the best thing I watched all week, John Cena on the Cassinet stream. By the way, he stole your hairdo. You got to make a phone call.
I was about to say, you showed me a little bit of this clip because I saw the messy room, and the only thing I could see is John Cena's hair. I mean, come on, bro.
He stole your bar.
It's literally identical.
He stole your flow, bar for bar, word for word.
How is mine more gray than his, though?
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. Memphis Basketball back in the news. Not for great reasons.
What's going on?
A fellow named Tyreek Smith, who you may or may not know exists, transferred from SMU, has left the program, at least temporarily, for reasons that the University of Memphis haven't made completely clear. But someone who claims to represent Tyreek Smith on social media has indicated that, according to him, the reason Tyreek Smith has walked away from the Memphis basketball program just weeks before the start of the season is because he has not been paid money that he was promised to attend the University of Memphis. He was supposed, according to his representative on social media, get a certain amount of money every month starting in June, and he hasn't received anything yet. I'm glancing at the calendar. It is now October. Bennett?
Yes.
What do you make of this mess? And just before everybody starts going, well, you don't know. Let me just. Here's what we do now. This shit doesn't happen anywhere else. There's not a representative of an Arkansas basketball player on Twitter right now talking about Arkansas hasn't paid the money they were supposed to pay. And there's not one connected to Kentucky or Duke or Kansas or UAB. I mean, nowhere. This only happens here. And I shouldn't say only, but my God. It's another one. Just another goofy thing. Another goofy headline connected to a goofy program.
It is kind of weird. I was looking to see, I don't remember. Did he not play in that exhibition game? I don't remember. I don't remember him. I don't think he played in the exhibition game. Again, I'm learning the whole team at once watching that, but I don't remember him playing. I guess you have to take him at his word. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
I will tell you this.
Other than it is another goofy thing popping up. Yes,
it's another goofy thing popping up.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the truth and what isn't. Although, if you walk away from a program and somebody close to you who is working with you is popping off like this on Twitter, I think we can reasonably assume something hasn't gone as planned. Perhaps there was a misunderstanding somewhere, but something hasn't gone as planned. I have heard this for more than a year from other people in the industry about Memphis basketball. People just asking me, have you heard? Maybe they're not delivering on everything they're telling people they're delivering on. And I would just have to say, yes, I have heard that, but I don't know the specifics. But it was brought to me 3 or 4 different times by 3 or 4 different people. Just hey, I was talking to so-and-so and heard this. There's always some story about somebody was promised something or believed they were promised something and wasn't getting what they were supposed to get. This is a thing in basketball people have been talking about for more than a year. A thing about Memphis basketball that people have been talking about for more than a year. The idea of something like this happening. And now it's all out there. It's all out there on Front Street now. This is I don't want to say going viral because most people around the country don't even care about Memphis basketball. But, people who do care about college basketball are aware right now that there's another weird story connected to the Memphis basketball program. It's just always something.
Yeah.
Always something. I mean, they had Jordan Brown leave the team very early last year. Remember, Penny just kept saying, well, he told me he was sick.
Oh, yeah, and then he came back, right? He came back.
Yes.
Jordan Brown, yeah.
It's just
he's
what?
Terrible.
It was what do you mean he's sick? What?
That was a weird one. I completely forgot about that. He did just miss half the season.
And then there was another year where Amani Bates just he's here and then he's not.
Yeah.
And then he comes back and just... I'm not saying none of this stuff ever happens anywhere else. I'm just saying it always happens here in a way that makes it feel way more often than it should. This kind of stuff. How about this? Maybe this is a better way to put it. If I were to just tell you there's a college basketball program and there's an representative of somebody on Twitter saying that the college basketball program didn't pay him and now the guy's just leaving the program a couple weeks before the season. What program do you think it is? Could be anybody. What do you think it is? Take a guess. What's your best guess? People would probably say, I get Memphis, I guess.
I don't want to
That
guess.
sounds like something that would happen at Memphis. And you go, ding, 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 you're right. It's Memphis. It's Memphis again. And then they go, isn't that the same place where they had an anonymous letter written a few weeks ago alleging major rules violations?
That stupid letter. I forgot about that stupid letter.
In a span of a couple of months, we've had I think 4 assistant coaches get fired, an anonymous letter alleging all sorts of wild rules violations. There is currently an academic investigation going on, and presumably an investigation going on in all this extra benefit stuff. Now you got another player leaving the program, and that player's representative blasting the program on social media, saying they ain't paid a penny they said they were supposed to pay. This is all stuff happening at Memphis Basketball.
I'm gonna just give them the benefit of the doubt maybe on this one, even though I don't know, dude. Like I said, I didn't remember seeing the kid in the UNC game.
Listen, if Penny wants to, Penny can talk about that. If Penny wants to come out and say what this person's alleging is not true, you can say that.
I think,
and you know what?
It'd be worth it.
If it were me and this shit wasn't true, I would be standing up right now. I'd be calling anybody I knew who had a microphone and saying, "Let me talk about this," because I cannot. But he ain't said nothing.
It's not true, right?
Yeah, I don't pretend to know the truth, other than this. This is true. To the extent that people are talking about college basketball right now, kind of the scandalous little story is connected to Memphis basketball. I don't know if all the allegations are true, but I know it's true that the allegations are out there connected to Memphis basketball again. Maybe it'll normalize someday, but certainly not today. Today won't be the day.
No.
Today won't be the day. Be back with GP's Carryout.
Dinosaur draft.
Give me Littlefoot.
Littlefoot's a great pick
It
in your
is
alternate
damn
reality.
right.
in your fake dinosaur draft because
I'm
you don't
sorry.
believe in real
I'm sorry.
dinosaurs. Give me a velociraptor. It's so cute and so scary.
That's
I'm
not
sorry.
a real velociraptor.
That's not a chicken.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
We have not talked to you since we got the big fella that's going to go next to you. What has impressed you about him, though? Just being on the same court with him, because you watched him a lot in college. You got to see him. We got to see him very, very little in summer league.
Very quick twitch, decision making. Yeah. No real fear of anything. Very vocal, able to talk through the game. But I mean, dude won Player of the Year twice.
I know.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
We got to talk about Scottie Pippen Jr. Scottie has inked that contract. He is now officially off the two-way. He is a member of the regular rotation.
Well-deserved, from my opinion. He straight up earned this one from all the time put in last season with the injuries to Summer League.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Yellow laces, really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges.
I gotta get them.
And you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Justin Timberlake.
I'm bringing sexy back.
The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now.
So if I get jealous, I can't help it.
For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzlies stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Congratulations to the Vanderbilt Commodores. They have actually hit the over on their win total for the season. Winning number 3. Their total was 2.5.
Hey, listen. if I had told you Vanderbilt was going to hit the over on their win total against Alabama, you guys would have kicked me off the show.
Crazy. Absolutely insane.
I tried to argue that they were going to be bowl eligible.
And I said that was good. And they still might not be.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball. But the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board. A class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. Let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
A whole bunch of stuff, but according to Twitter at least, I think the most important thing is if you're thinking about signing with the university, just get your money up front. Can I just have it all up front? Just give me all the money up front, right?
I guess that's true.
Because there's a fella on social media alleging that among the reasons Tyreek Smith is no longer an active member of the Memphis basketball program for now, I guess, is because he hasn't received the money he was promised. Like I mentioned, I have no idea whether that's true or not, but what I do know is that it is true that this is something that's happening on social media right now, and it's just the latest in a long line of goofy stories connected to the Memphis basketball program. Maybe it'll normalize someday, but today won't be that day.
What's today's biggest game?
Monday Night Football. You ready for some football? It's a Monday night
good
party.
Good game tonight.
Ravens, Bucks. Couple 4-2 teams down in Raymond James Stadium. 7:15 kick. You can watch it on ESPN, ABC. Ravens are a 4-point favorite on the road. Totals 49.5. How you gonna act?
You know, Ravens have been just destroying people with their backfield of Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. And the Bucks are pretty good at stopping the run. So this is an interesting clash. I think I'll go.
This is one where they say something's got to give.
Something's got to give. What's the line again?
Baltimore -4.
Oh, give me the Bucks.
You want the...
Yeah.
Oh, I can get 4 points at home with Baker?
Yeah, give me the Bucks.
Okay. Bennett said take Tampa Bay plus the 4, kick at 7:15.
What are we watching on TV?
We got WWE Raw on USA Network tonight. I'm now that the Mets season is over, I'm ready to get refocused on wrestling.
Yeah.
Now my new favorite team is WWE.
Yeah.
My favorite team was the Mets. That's over.
Yep.
Now my new favorite team is WWE. Jey Uso, Braun Breaker tonight, title match.
I like it.
Cody Rhodes is expected to address Gunther. Gunther has been invited to come to SmackDown on Friday. Will he show up?
Oh, I bet he shows.
Ooh.
I bet he shows.
Oh, 7 o'clock tonight. We'll find out together.
What's the best thing we've read?
So interesting story. You know, Kendrick Lamar, he doesn't say much. You know, he doesn't do much media.
Right.
But he's on the cover of Harper's Bazaar, released today. Only the 5th time a male has ever appeared on the cover of Harper's Bazaar solo. So it's history. And there's a Q&A in it with SZA. So it's SZA interviewing Kendrick Lamar about his life, about Not Like Us, about everything that's going on. If you haven't checked it out yet, just Google Kendrick Lamar and Harper's Bazaar. It'll pop right up.
What's the best thing we've read?
What's on tap tomorrow,
What's
GB?
on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's Tuesday. NBA regular season gets underway tomorrow.
Let's
we got
go.
a doubleheader tomorrow night on TNT, and then the Grizz open it on Wednesday. Chris Vernon will sit in studio with me tomorrow. Nobody better to talk to about the NBA on a Tuesday than him. Should be a fun show. I'm looking forward to it already. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy mine. Meet me back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good, rep your hood.